fun and fancy lace cuffs? What's not to love? These frilly, detachable cuffs were super quick and easy to make. Because I did them by hand, it did take about 2 hours to sew. That's still not bad. And because all the materials were thrifted, it didn't cost me much either. Let's get to the construction. For my materials, needle, thread, scissors of course. I have these little snaps, lace. Mine was $2.99 for all of this from my favorite thrift store. And then something to use for the cuff. I'm being lazy. No, I'm being resourceful. I had this end of a bed sheet in my cabbage stash. Figure I'm just going to cut off the excess material and just use that. I'm going to start by cutting the material away from this hem so I have enough to go around each wrist. That should do me. Now I'm going to do my very basic measurement of around my wrist. I want to have a bit of overlap for the snap, so I'm going to cut that about there. Then I'm going to do the same, just hold it in place and cut again. I'm just double checking. Yes, that will fit around my wrist. Good. I want to have a fair bit of ruffle, but not be too long. I don't want it to interfere too much at work, but maybe be about that long. If you had a measuring tape, you could measure. Not gonna bother. What I think I will do to give myself lots of ruff is to actually use an entire strip of the width of this lace and then gather that. I'm going to cut it out kind of following the flower pattern a bit so that we have nice little bumps for the edge. Looking at this, that cutting it I won't end up with too much fraying. But it's for kind of a piratey thing, so if it does fray, it's character, it's weathering. There is my cutout ruffly edge. It's not perfectly straight, doesn't need to be, because it's going to be gathered and be all pretty. Now I need to figure out how far down I want to go. Again, really precise measurements here. Now I do want to have enough to attach to the cuff, but yeah, I think about there. And I'm just going to cut this straight across. Here is my strip that I cut out. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's being gathered up. It will look fine. Next, I'm going to clip off the selvage edge, because that will be a very dark and heavy spot. Because things are going to get crazy once I start doing the gathers and sewing that on, I'm going to put the snaps on next. So my snaps come on a little sheet. I cannot tell you how many times I I have put these on the wrong way. With these snaps, you need an innie and an outie. The first one I did was the outie. This one has to be the innie. And it fits. Always good to test. Now the fun part, gathering. I'm going to need a longer piece of thread. All I'm going to do is weave my thread through the lace. And of course you can't talk normally when you're doing this. So there's my cuff on its little gather strings. So I can adjust the gather, make it pretty. Now I'm going to line it up with my cuff. So I'm going to pin. Going to have a bit of overlap. Pull on my gather threads until it's the same size as my cuff. That'll be very nice. Sewing the lace onto the cuff. And for this, all I'm going to do is go up and down and up and down. Try to make sure that you catch as much of the lace as you can. If you want, you can try to flatten out some of the gathers, make them all nice and pretty. And now for the scary part, taking out the pins. I have my thread handy. That way, if as I take out my pins, all of a sudden I have a weird bloop that I hadn't caught stitching down, I can stitch it down. That's not bad. All right, I don't see too much strangeness. I have one little odd angle here, but I kind of like that. I think it will help cover the open transition space. If you wanted to, you could now pull out your, can't think of the word, your gathering thread. I'm just clipping mine. It's white on white. It can stay in there. It's not doing any harm. And if there is a spot like this that you're not as much of a fan of, it can go at the bottom and no one will know. All right, my next step is to make another one, and then we'll put the jacket on. And that's it. Super simple, but really nice and effective. You know, I think I could probably pull together a fun piratey look with this. I'm going to be right back. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, click that subscribe button. Until next time, have fun and be creative. Ooh, that looks super low. I don't think that's gonna work. Okay. Camera test, take 2. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm in frame either. Let's try that. Maybe? Third time's the charm, we hope. Pin it in a couple of places to try to tame all this craziness. So much floof. Stay. And this is why we're gonna have music over top of it, because cars. So many cars. Yeah. Ooh. Okay, there's pinprick number 1. Huh. And can't do this right, can I? Do it again. Well, actually I should check and see that I'm in frame.